When sowing melons, you can choose between direct sowing and transplanting, although when considering early crops, sowing needs to be carried out in seed beds due to the limitation of soil temperatures during the colder months. When sowing is carried out in seed beds, transplanting takes place at the 6 or 7 week stage. This is once the first leaf is truly developed. However, it would be ideal for 2 full leaves to be formed and the 3rd or 4th to be showing. When planting takes place, holes are made, and once the seedlings have been set in place, the root ball is covered with soil and the seedlings are watered in order to facilitate the root-taking process. Mulching is carried out in order to increase soil temperature, diminish evaporation, impede weed formation, increase the concentration of CO2 in the soil, and increase fruit quality as the fruit makes direct contact with the soil. This consists in covering the soil with a black polythene sheet. With early planting and once transplanting has taken place, then plastic tunnels can be set in place to increase temperature levels. Another method which is used is the thermal heating blanket, which, although increases the temperature in a minor way, does improve ventilation and prevents problems with drip irrigation. Another method of increasing greenhouse temperatures after planting consists in using strips of plastic or a cover made of perforated transparent film. Even though climbing plants are the most common, it has to be said that due to the workforce required to produce a high-quality crop, the plants need to be staked. With regard to climbing crops, the most habitual spacing can vary between 0.75 and 1 plant per metre squared. With stake crops, spacing increases, the recommendations being 1.5 to 2 plants per metre squared. Pruning melon plants stimulates branch growth and diminishes the strength of the plant. This foments the growth of female flowers, accelerates maturity and facilitates ventilation and the application of phytosanitary treatments. This in turn increases early growth and favours the control of quality and fruit size. The recommended watering method is drip irrigation due to the fact that the melon plant is sensitive to waterlogging. Nowadays, pollination is carried out by bees, Apis mellifera, which is the safest and most effective method of correct pollination. Beehives are placed inside the greenhouse a few days before the female flowers appear and after the first male flowers emerge. This is done in order for them to become acclimatized. Flowering tends to occur in stages in order to make way for 2 to 3 crops of fruit. The flowers remain open for 2 or 3 days, opening in the morning and closing in the evening. They continue like this until, if by the aforementioned time they have not been fertilized, they will no longer be receptive. In general terms, it will take 100 to 120 days from the commencement of plant growth to the beginning of harvesting. This causes fruit setting to vary between 30 to 50 days, depending on the crop and the growth environment. The fruit must not be harvested until it is fully mature. Harvesting melons begins with cutting by hand. The fruit is deposited at the end of the rows in order that it might be loaded onto carts. The frequency of harvesting varies from 2 to 3 times per week during warm weather or once a week during cold weather.